Hello and welcome to Lily's Library. So today we're going to be doing a bit of a different reading vlog. I'm going to be attempting a 24-hour readathon. Now, I'm not going to be doing this in the typical sense of a 24-hour readathon. I'm not going to be staying up for 24 hours to read it just because that will kill me. And I am exhausted enough from work. So we are going to be timing it on my iPad here and keeping track of it that way. So trying to do more like reading sprints. Now, I kind of have about 4 and a bit days to make this work. So we'll see how we go, but I would like to spread it out across them. I do have some other things I'm doing, so we'll see how we go with it all, but I thought we'd go through my TBR. So my main focus is going to be The Battle Drum by Sarah El-Arifi, which is book 2 in the Ending Fire trilogy. I am 159 pages into it, 158 pages. So we still have got a decent amount to go because this is just over 500, but I'm hoping I can really get through a lot of this. I do have the physical copy, but I'm actually reading it on my Kobo, which is making it a little bit faster. So we shall see how we go. I think, yeah, on my Kobo, it's like technically a 700 page book and I think I've got 500 and something left. So we'll see how we go with that, but that is going to be my main focus. I really want to finish it this weekend and before I have to go back to work after the long weekend. So we'll see how we go. And then kind of to be a break from that one and maybe switch it up if I'm feeling like I am struggling, I've got a romance. We have got After the Siren. This is by Darcy Green. They're an Australian author, and this is a queer AFL book that I've heard really good things about. This is also a library book that I need to return soon, so it is kind of good motivation to get me to keep reading. So I've got this one that I'll be switching to once I'm getting kind of a bit tired from reading fantasy. Then if those go well, I've got some other options. I would like to try and maybe start Human Acts by Hung Kang, but we'll see if that happens or not. This is a very short book, but it'll just depend if I'm in a mood for this kind of fiction as well, so we'll see with that. If I need something a bit lighter and a bit more fun that I know will be a really quick read, I've got Strange Pictures by Uketsu. I read Strange Houses not too long ago and really loved it, so I'm very intrigued by this. But those are 2 maybes. My final definite on this list is that I would like to get to The Strength of the Few by James Islington, which is the sequel to The Will of the Many. I'm not going to be finishing this. This is a 700 page something book, but I would like to restart it. I have technically already read the first 3 chapters, but I would really like to restart it and read it because I'm doing a buddy read of this month with a bunch of friends. So I think I kind of need to restart it and get back into it to find out what is happening. I feel like as well reading it with people will also make me a lot more motivated to get through this a lot quicker and will also help me with remembering a lot of things. But yeah, I think I've been talking for long enough. We are going to go and I'm going to go make tea and pick up one of these books and sit down and read for maybe about half an hour, 35 minutes if I can, and then we'll go from there and I'll time it and see how we go. Okay, so we are about 5 hours into my 24 hours of reading and I have finished a book. I ended up starting and finishing Strange Pictures by Uketsu. I just really wanted something a bit lighter and easier to read. I am enjoying The Battle Drum, but I just wanted something that I know I could finish, and I had a really good time with this. I think I still liked Strange Houses a lot more. I don't know what it was about this one. I still found it to be enjoyable, but I found it a bit more far-fetched than Strange Houses in a way. I don't know, I think these books are just so goofy and fun, and I'm definitely going to be reading more. This just isn't my favorite out of the two so far, but it's still such an interesting concept. But this only took me a little bit to read because it's just it's about 230 something pages, almost 240, so it's a very quick and easy one to get through. But I had a really good time with this one, and I'm so glad I did manage to finish a book. But like I said, I've also been making progress on the Battle Drum, so I have the physical copy here with me, but the binding in this is actually broken, and every time I open it, it keeps trying to fall out. So I ended up getting the digital version on my Kobo, which I have been reading, and I'm now into part 3. I'm on chapter 21, which is just over 200 pages through. It's 215 pages in. So we're nearing the halfway mark, but I'm really hoping to get through a lot more of this. I might actually later this afternoon start reading another book just to kind of switch between the two of them and try and make progress on both of them. I'm tossing up between After the Siren or reading more of The Strength of the Few, but I think I might try and push off The Strength of the Few until I finish this because I do really want to get to this one. But I think on my Kobo it says I have got like 7 something hours. Actually, I might grab it and see what it says. But I did a bit of reading of this at breakfast this morning, and yeah, it says I'm 40% of the way through and I've got 6 hours to go, so I can definitely accomplish it during this readathon. I just need to actually like dedicate the time to it and do it, which is always the struggle with these long books. But I would absolutely love if I could finish this book like today or tomorrow. We'll see how we go. We've still got a few plans for the weekend. We went out to breakfast this morning and I did a little tiny bit of reading there. I only got like 3-4 minutes in just because the food ended up arriving a lot quicker than I thought it would. But we have to get groceries and do some other things, and we're planning on watching a movie tonight, so I will be losing some time to that. But that's okay. This is just a long weekend where I want to enjoy myself, so I am trying to do other things. But my partner is working tomorrow and Monday, so I will have a bit more time on my own where I can do more reading, because I do like being able to spend time with him because our work schedules don't line up too well. So I'm going to try and get through a lot more reading tomorrow and on Monday. I might go for a walk to the park and just sit outside and read. I feel like that'll be a really nice thing to do since the weather has been kind of cooling down a bit. But yeah, I'm going to stop yapping now and I'm going to go and try and read a lot more of the Battle Drum, and then I might actually read a tiny bit of After the Siren because I feel like that'll be something that's very easy and quick for me to read. But yeah, that's where we're at the moment. Officially halfway through my 24-hour reading challenge, and I have read a decent amount. I'm actually pretty happy and proud of how much I have read. It is already Monday, so the last day of my 4-day weekend, so I might try and extend the reading a little bit longer, but we'll see how we go at the end of tonight and see how I feel. But I have already finished 2 books and I'm halfway through a third, so we're going to talk about all of them. I ended up reading After the Siren by Darcy Green, and I absolutely loved this. I thought it was so cute and adorable. I ended up finishing this yesterday. I listened to it mostly on audiobook in the end, just because I was playing a lot of Animal Crossing, so I wanted to be able to read at the same time as that. So yeah, I read this one. It is super cute and fun and very heartwarming and heartbreaking at the same time. I loved the way that it dealt with anxiety and depression and panic attacks and everything. It was very refreshing to see the way it was handled, and I felt very seen with it. I also loved the discussions around queer football players and queer people in sports, specifically in men's teams, and how that kind of looked and the way everything happened in the end. It was very sweet and nice seeing everything being done so well and everyone being so happy for it. It was really nice. There was also lots of discussions around women's AFL in this, which I really did enjoy, in the way that the men's teams all fought for the women as well. It was just really nice and absolutely perfect. If you have watched Heated Rivalry, I would really recommend this one because it definitely fills that gap in a way. And I think this book is a lot better than the Heated Rivalry book. It is just so cute and so fun and so perfect, and I loved it. Then I'm still reading The Battle Drum. This has taken me quite a bit of time to get through, but I'm now officially halfway through it and I'm really enjoying it. I'm very nervous about what's happening at the moment, actually. But yeah, we're currently on chapter 28, so I'm hoping to read a lot more of it this afternoon. I've got just over 200 pages to go, I think, so we'll see how we go with that. I think on my Kobo it said I've got 5 hours left, which I am a bit of a slow reader with these fantasy books. So I will hopefully be trying to finish it tonight. I'm trying not to play as much Animal Crossing as I have been, but I'm probably going to make myself a hot drink and chuck on a TV show and play a little bit of Animal Crossing just for that. But yeah, this day hasn't been as productive as I had hoped it would be for reading because we were playing Pathfinder earlier, but I'm hoping for the rest of the afternoon I can get through a little bit more and yeah, hopefully finish the Battle Drum tonight. That is really my goal. So yeah, I'm just going to watch one episode of that show and play Animal Crossing through that, and then after that I'm just going to be spending the rest of the afternoon and early evening reading. So we'll see how we go with it. It is currently 2:15, so we'll see what time I end up starting to read and then what time I end up finishing the book, and we'll go from there. I ended up finishing the Battle Drum last night, and I think this is definitely going to be one of my top reads of the year. This is absolutely insane. I just loved this one so much. I ended up crying a bit at the end. It was just such a wild ride. I really love Sarah Elarifi as a writer, and especially in this book, I think this is her strongest book I have read so far. It is just absolutely phenomenal. I really loved the way that this expanded upon what we already knew about this world and this universe, and really grew and changed and twisted throughout the whole book. Like, at no point did I know where anything was going, and when I thought I knew, that wasn't actually what happened. But I just really had such a great time with this. It was absolutely insane, the reveal at the end. I'm still uncertain whether I'm going to dive straight into the ending fire or give myself a bit of a break, because there's quite a few books I'm trying to get to this month, but this was just absolutely insane. I just loved it so much. Just the way that this explored so much of this world. I feel like it's just so hard to talk about this without spoiling things though. So once I'm done this trilogy, I might do a full spoilery video on all of them, just because I have so many thoughts, especially this book. I need to write them all down and correlate them, and then we can do a spoiler video on all 3 books, because I just need to talk more about this and the things that happened. If you have read these books, I just need to talk to someone. If you haven't read them, but I think you should take this as your sign to pick these up, because this is absolutely insane. This is one of the best installments in a trilogy I have ever read. I feel like a lot of the time the second book of a trilogy doesn't always live up to the first book, but I feel like this one surpassed the first book in my opinion. So it was just absolutely fantastic. Loved it so much. Definitely a 5-star read. But with that, I actually got up to 18 hours and 15 minutes of my readathon. So we still obviously have a bit of time to go. I'm not too sure if I'm going to keep vlogging or not. I think I might just call it quits here, because we are into the new working week. So I don't think I'll have too much time to read, but I'd say that's a pretty good effort. I kind of wish I had done like a 24-hour straight thing where I tried to stay up the entire 24 hours, but I know I wouldn't have got as much reading done as I had hoped if I did it that way, just because I need my sleep and I need my rest and I need my breaks, and I wanted to watch a lot of movies on the long weekend as well. So I think this is a pretty solid effort. So I think 3 books is really good, especially one being such a long book, and I did read a large amount of it over the weekend. So yeah, I think I'm going to call this one here, but that's it. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe, and let me know down below what your favorite fantasy series is. And yeah, I will see you all with a new video next time. Goodbye.